So thanks to a friend of mine, Mark, who commented on my last video. He asked me about how I get the motivation to do the things that I've done, and it's something that never struck me as being important to talk about. I never really thought about how I get the motivation, and this is because Mark is aware of some of the things that I've done. Just to give you an idea, I've traveled in about 23 countries. Most of which I've been to probably 2 or 3 times or more. I've hitchhiked from Kenya all the way down Africa to Cape Town, and then I've actually hitchhiked back up to Tanzania, going through South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, through Namibia, Tanzania, Zambia, and Tanzania. I've hitchhiked around Europe as well. I've hitchhiked from London to Brussels and back again. I think I've done that trip probably twice. I've hitchhiked from Brussels through France into Switzerland, although that wasn't continual and only hitchhiking. I did use the train from time to time. I've hitchhiked in Germany. I've hitchhiked from Brussels to Munich and back, and I've done a lot of other random hitchhiking missions. So how is it that I get this motivation to do this stuff? I've lived in about 7 countries as well, so I'm away from my family, I'm away from what I know, I'm in an uncomfortable situation all the time. And in fact, the reason I'm going to record this video is just before recording it, I was thinking, should I record this video? And I was like, well, there's that movie I want to watch. I started watching a movie last night called 127 Hours, which is basically about a chap who he's rock climbing in the canyons in America, and he falls down and gets his hand trapped by a rock. And I think he's going to have to cut off his hand. I'm not sure. And I was like, should I record a video? Which is requiring energy, thought, and it could be a disaster. It's just like effort. Or I could watch a movie. Nice, chill, relax. Watch a movie. That's nice. And it's a good movie as well. But, so my strategy, how I managed to do so many different things, by different things, I've studied and worked in so many different areas. I studied sound engineering to become a recorder, like a producer. That was due to the fact that my uncle's godfather was the manager of the Beatles. And when I met him on the first or second occasion, he offered me an opportunity, but I needed to study. Anyway, I was hijacked, ended up in a car accident, in a coma. Then I became quite religious. I got a scholarship to study at a religious center in the UK, so I went and studied there. I was then invited to become the youth pastor of a big church near Blackpool. I did that for a while. Then I got into sales, door-to-door sales, working for various companies in the UK selling gas and electricity. I did well. I sold, in my second week, I set a new record for one of the companies for the most sales achieved in a single day. And, I've moved from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And my life has not been like in one place for very long. Although I'm hoping to kind of find something that I can sink my teeth into and just do for like at least 5 or 6 years, or maybe more, or maybe even my whole life. I'd just like to find something that's good and that I feel right with. But anyway, how do I manage to make all these changes all the time? Some other things, I've met a lot of cool people. I was invited to P. Diddy's after party in London, which I went to. I met Diddy. One of his rapper friends poured me a glass of Cristal or champagne while they were rapping on the stage. I was up at the front. I finished my glass and I held it up like this, and he kind of just topped it up. I lived on Carnaby Street. I had a flat on Carnaby Street, which is in a popular place in central London. Um, yeah, lots of random things I've done. So, and there've been times when I've had like very comfortable financial standing, like situation, and then there've been times where I've been broke. Like I've lived in an abandoned bakery for a couple months, and I've got food from dumps and things like that, and clothes. I've been completely broke, and I've been completely like high flying and stuff. I had a business coaching communication to people. Actually, the communication was how to meet women, build rapport, get attraction, get phone numbers, go on dates. Um, and I learned tricks and things because I was terrible with girls around women. I was so shy. Actually, there was this time when I was at a bowling alley. I was about 13. Amongst the guys, I was always like rowdy and like funny. And when I was young, I was really confident and I had friends. I was friends with everyone. And I was just like, I had a good life as a youngster. Um, so this girl was, she was one of the most beautiful girls I'd come across ever. Blonde, and she was quite well developed for her age. And I liked her, and I think she could tell. Anyway, so I sat down for a moment on one of the bowling alley chairs, and she came and sat down right next to me. Do you know what I did? I did this. That's me holding my breath. I stopped breathing